I'm pretty sure you know, whether you're in the military or not, that boot camp is not a normal place. Things are loud, unexpected, often don't make sense, but survive, you get to call yourself a soldier. Now, most civilians already know that sucks in every way possible, but what they don't tend to know is how funny it is. It's actually half this sucks and another half trying not to burst out laughing like every other minute. And these stories shine a little light on that, man. All right, so this one takes place at the very tail end of boot camp. Story's gonna be out of order, by the way. So here's the situation. Towards the end of boot camp, you all have something called the final FTX, or the Forge. It's a few days long field exercise that basically sums up everything you learned at boot camp so far. Y'all do long rope marches everywhere, while singing cadence, obstacle courses, simulated attacks, etc. It's essentially supposed to be the hardest but final test you take in basic. After that, you officially become soldiers and move on from Weenie Hut Juniors to Super Weenie Hut Juniors, bro. So we're on like day 2 of the final FTX. We're giving a little training where we're just splitting the 3-man teams, use land nav to get to some points and report information or something like that. If you don't know, land nav is basically just a map reading, getting from point A to B and point C and D, etc. You know, on military maps. Now, this wasn't the official land nav portion. We already did that earlier. So this wasn't the official land nav test that you have to do. This was some training that basically had us work on communication and getting to points so we could relay information, pretty much. Basically some fun in the forest. So that's what it boiled down to. Anyway, so I'm walking with my group, trying not to be confused, but you might as well have thrown 3 blind mice into a cornfield maze, bro. We're trying to gather information from this one point. See some folks from another group make their way up this particular little hill area. My buddies in the group suggest we head that way, and he was like, well, you know, maybe it's the direction of the next waypoint. Me and the other dude are like, I don't know, man. I don't even think we're supposed to be going that far. Like, it might be outside of the range where the drills actually wanted us to go for this event. So that actually was the way we were supposed to be going, but like I said, three blind mice, man. So we eventually decided to say screw it and go that way. When I noticed a dude kind of separate from his group, he still had like a battle buddy relatively nearby him, but not directly by him like you're supposed to. By the way, being by yourself at boot is a good way to make the drills lose their minds. You always move with at least one battle buddy in boot. But anyways, they were kind of apart when I saw them, and they basically started back walking together, and then they caught up with their group. I thought it was kind of strange, but I mean, I didn't give too much thought to it because I was more worried about the fact that we were about to have to explain to the drills how we got lost with all 3 of us having maps in our hands. They're making our way up this hill. Another group is making their way down, and as they come down, I hear one of them say, "That smell, bro." And as another one answers, like some dog or animal, like over there, man. I kind of looked to my fire team like, it's up there? Like, you mean where we're currently walking? So we make our way up the hill, and sure enough, a little to the right of the dirt path, there's a slight smell, not too strong, but slight smell of caca. So everybody watch your step and push past it. Keep in mind, we're carrying some small amount of gear and our M4, so it's not like we can cover our noses to avoid the smell. But it's also in a heavily forested area, like not directly on the path. So like I said, like not the strongest, but just enough to where you can tell something exited from where the sun don't shine. We disregarded, continue finding our points, and complete the course like 30-ish minutes later. At this point, all teams are back at a rally point where we begin to have an AR, which is just talking about what we did good, what we did bad, who almost went off the trail and walked into the nearest town outside of the base, you know, stuff like that. So after the drills essentially try to convince us to grow brain cells, they give us a few minutes break before we head to the next training event. During this little break, we hear more and more people talking about how like a certain part of the trail, a little bit like I'm thinking, oh, so it wasn't just us that encountered that, right? Okay, interesting, man. What they're talking about is one group says, it was so much better though. Like I had to, man. Me and some others heard him like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? What you mean by that, bro? And he doesn't hold back. He's like, man, I had to take it. I took one. We're outside the trail back there. Now, mind you, up until this point, we thought of like animal head took a, and we were like, I was like, that's what we smell. And even some of us had seen. Not me though. For his sake though, I just hope he reorganized before getting back to the rest of the group. Yeah, if you ever doing a field training exercise in the woods, make sure you looking around. I mean, all around and down. Matter of fact, follow your nose. So this one also takes place around the same time in boot camp, like final FTX, last few days of the hard stuff of boot. So yeah, in the field during the summer, little sleep, constantly carrying an M4, and basically just going from one little exercise / training event to another. Let me preface this story with the fact that during these, like, we were obviously firing like real M4s, but very important, but we're firing what is known as blanks, the type of ammunition for the weapon that pretty much does what it sounds like. It makes you shoot blanks. You also have a BFA, or blank firing adapter, at the barrel. Those two things in conjunction allow you to fire on the enemy and like even cycle through all the firing modes, like semi-auto or burst if you had the older M4s or M16s. Looking at you Marines. So basically, shooting blanks allowed us to play our little war games without one of us actually sending or accidentally sending a 5.56 round to Private Snuffy's lower calf. Fire blanks suck, by the way, because the blank rounds cause the M4 to jam way more than it normally would. And with it would jam, you would have to start saying bang bang, bang bang, while pointing our weapon at op for it to fire. It's not a joke, bro. We literally had to do that, bro. Imagine trying to return the fire with a drill right next to over your shoulder. Weapon keeps jamming. He's like, fix it, brother. Try to fix it, fail. And he's like, all right, make the call outs. And you just sit there like, bang bang. It's like, was this like a Chief Keef music video, or was this boot camp? Like, what is even going on anymore? Anyway, all that story for another day, bro. This day we're doing a small team or like fire team tactics mixed with a little squad tactics. I was chosen to lead a fire team as part of like part of the bigger squad. We go through these tactics, and then like the first few scenarios is like in the woods again, which I mean I didn't mind because I was finally doing some stuff I like signed up to do, man, and not get smoked for like 35 minutes. So I lead my team towards the objectives, and we got annihilated, man. We got absolutely annihilated. Drills are right there with us watching as we get confused, got lost track of the enemy, and basically fell apart at the hands of Op 4. Afterwards, during the AR, they got us together and said, well, you guys basically suck, which was fair, you know, but in our defense, trying to stay organized in chaos, like, it's a real deal skill. Like, it looks easy on the movies stuff when they be like you go over there, you go over here, you there, but even these little simulations we're running is a lot harder than you think, unless of course you're like special forces. So we perform midly, but like quickly dust it off because the drills have a new mission for our team. Now for this mission, they didn't tell us too much other than expect the enemy to be involved in some kind of way and keep each other alive, which was kind of like, yeah, like, you don't say, drills. Yeah, that was the plan from the beginning, man. But anyways, we're in the woods discussing like the best way we could try to take them once the mission started, like ways to hit them, flank them, basically. So essentially, like we were tired of being a hunted, wanted to be the hunters. So we brainstormed as hard as our 18, 19-year-old minds can. But the drills walked up like, all right, get your team together and begin mission, man. So we walk out of the woods into an open, like grassy area, and it has like a line of random tents, boxes, like storage stuff just sitting right there in like a line. So we walk out, we see that, and we're sitting there waiting for the attack, but we see no enemy, like none whatsoever. None pop up out of the ground like they had been, and then like none surprising us from the left like they had been. It seems abandoned, right? When all of a sudden we see one of the folks from our platoon run up aggressively with his OCP top off, like, so he had this shirt on, but he also had like a t-shirt like tied around his head, and his eyes was wide like a cartoon character. Like, and at first I'm like, what on earth are you doing here? Like, aren't you supposed to be running through the sim training like a couple feet that way, man? Because like I said, he was in our platoon, but something obviously had happened, man. So he's out of breath, like eyes wide, and he's like, oh yo. And so I just like, we're trying not to laugh, and then we look at the drills to our right, and then like, don't look at us, bro. Focus on the scenario. Like, oh, and hire my boy to be part of the Op 4. Man. So we switching sides, bro. But just as soon as I'm realizing that, he starts panicking more, and like finally start speaking a foreign language. This was an African language. It was either Osa or this one right here. Like, I don't even know how to begin to pronounce, but whichever it was, we had no idea what he was trying to say, and we weren't about to find out. So he's full blown, like freaking out, like speaking his language. Tongue is moving, and we're confused as all outdoors. He's like waving his hands around, like kind of running towards us, and then away. Almost like a bull, like charging, but like not fully. Someone was on the fire team was like, so we're supposed to like shoot him or what? And like they raised their voice and like, no, wait, maybe he's trying to communicate. Right? With looking back, he clearly was, but you have to understand, for us, after doing all these scenarios with little to no civvies in them, it was a very unexpected and confusing. Right? As we're aiming at him, see like 3 or 4 guys that also look like civvies walk left to right, and then like some of them went in the center, and then one of them just kind of stands off, just looking at the scene unfold. And now we're like what do we do? Or really, like, what are we supposed to do? Because besides slightly running at us, he hasn't done nothing yet. Like, he didn't do anything yet. But he does, like, he just keeps getting like more panic, and then he starts like pointing at the ground and going like this. Then he kind of started motioning his hands like towards us, bro. Like, and same kid in my team, he's like, all right, bro, I'm about to just shoot this dude. Someone else was like, yeah, he's becoming a threat. And now something was telling me to get rid of bro, but a little smaller voice in my head was like, is that the right way to do this scenario? And eventually, like, he started motioning towards us like this. Like, and then at this point, like, the whole team is like, hey, Carter, we gotta take this dude out. He's getting too aggressive. So I'm like, all right, yeah, sure. So we all aim, and then before I'm even like taking him out, one of us fires, and then we all fire. When at the same time, we hear this, like a simulated attack. We see a whole lot of smoke. One of the sim bombs going off like right in front of us. And then drills were like, yep, y'all dead. So safe to say we failed another scenario. They bring us for the AR, and they're like, hey, idiots, he was a civilian trying to tell you the R4 planted a bomb right where you're walking. We're like, oh, that's why he seemed so panicked. They're like, yeah, and you shot him before the bomb went off. So basically, like, the whole point of that scenario was to show that you have to be smart before you pull the trigger, and miscommunication can lead to taking giant L's or L's. In the end, like, after the FTX, he actually told us like the drills had pulled a few recruits to the side who spoke different languages, and asked, probably more like voluntold, them to be a civvy for the R4 scenarios. They knew they hit a jackpot when someone spoke something other than Spanish, because honestly, a lot of recruits probably also spoke Spanish, and they wanted this scenario to be as confusing as possible. So more of the story, not all threats look like somebody going like this could be trying to help you, man. So yeah, as you can see, bootcamp not a normal place, man. That's just a few of them. I got a whole lot more, but this one's already getting kind of long. So in a rush, but just know there will be a 2. It will be a part 2. See y'all there.